Welcome to today's St. Agnes classes. Today our topic is comparing quantities, the complete chapter of 8th class. Chapter 6 will be discussing here, theory as well as some examples also. Before that, let us see what we have studied in our 7th standard related to this. We have studied ratios and percentage. Suppose in a basket, fruits of basket, there are 20 apples and 5 orange is there. So let us find the ratio of number of orange to the number of apples. So what will be that? We are known to that. We will be doing it like that, 5:20. And in the terms of fractions, when we will do it, then we will get this as 5/20 and 5 will go in 24 times. So this will come as 1/4. And in ratios, we can write it as 1:4. It means when one orange is there, there will be 4 apples. Otherwise, when 2 orange will be there, there will be 8 apples. When we have to show the percentage of orange in that particular box, first we will write the number of orange, then we have to write the total number of fruits, that is 20 apple plus 5 orange, it is 25 as the denominator. For bringing it to percentage, we have to multiply this 100. So we will be getting this 25 will go in 104 times. So 4 into 5 is 20%. And this is the percentage of orange in that particular box. Same way, percentage of apple is 100 minus 20, because if 20 is minusing, the remaining all is apple. So we will get 80% apple is there and 20% orange is there. This way we found the ratios as well as percentage in our 7th standard. Now let us come to increase or decrease percent. Increase or decrease percent. Suppose the price of a car previous year, we are taking it as 34,000. And in this year, 20% increase is there in the price of this particular car. So how much we have to pay for purchase of that particular car today? So increase is percentage increase, I mean 20% means 20 divided by 100 into 34,000. So this will go in 2 times, and this we will get it as 86,000 rupees. 6,800 rupees is increased. So the new price of this car will be 34,000 plus 6,800, that we are getting as total price as rupees 40,800 you will get. So instead of this way, we can calculate the same in another step, in another way also. Suppose the price of the car in previous year is 100 And what will be today's price? Today it is increased 20%, so it will be 120. So in that way also we can say that in today's price is 120 divided by 100 into 34,000. If you will do, then this way also you will get it as rupees 40,800. This way also we will get it as rupees 40,800, and as per your convenience you can go for this calculation. Now the next topic is discount. When we'll pass through the shops and all, nowadays it is possible to see discount like that 10% off. You may see off means discount only, otherwise you may see discount. Discount or off means marked price minus sales price. Marked price minus sales price. What does means by marked price? Whenever we will purchase a item, there will be on the cover a price will be printed, that is the marked price, and we may be getting price less than that, and how much amount that is reduced, that is the discount. So suppose I am getting or I am purchasing an item with marked price 840 rupees, and I am getting that for 714 rupees. So 714 rupees is the sales price, and the price it is typed on the item is 840. So I am going to get a discount of rupees 126. So normally the discount is shown in terms of the percentage. So what will be the discount percentage? Otherwise, percentage of discount in this case, it is 126 we are getting, and total price we are supposed to pay was 840, but we paid only 714 only, and 120 divided by 840 multiplied by 100, that will be the percentage that we will be getting here. That percentage is 15%. We can calculate here. Now let us go to an example. Suppose the price of a t-shirt is rupees 220, and there is an offer of discount 20%. So how much is the price of the t-shirt that the customer is to pay? And for that we have to find the discount first. Discount is 20 upon 100 multiplied by 220. So here the discount we will get it as rupees 44. Okay, this will go like this. Then 2 into 22 is 44. Then the sales price, or otherwise the price that we have to pay is 220 minus 44. So we will get it as rupees 176. Only 176 rupees we have to pay to purchase the t-shirt of 220 rupees when there is a discount of 20%. The same thing we can calculate in another way also. If 800 is the total price that we have to, 100 is the total price of that marked price, and then we have to give only 80 rupees if it is 100, isn't it? So 80 out of 100 only to have to pay. multiplied by 220. This way also we can have 176. So this will be more easier compared to that previous one. Now let us come to the next topic. Next topic is profit percentage or loss percentage. Profit, otherwise loss percentage. Let us consider CP means cost price. Same way, SP, let us see it as selling price. If this selling price is more than the cost price, then we can say that there will be profit. And if the selling price is less than that of cost price, then there will be loss. Let us consider an example here. Since our topic is profit as well as loss, here in this example, we will consider an example such that it includes profit as well as loss. Mr. Sachin is purchasing 2 fans. So at rupees 1,200 each. And he sells sale price for first fan at a loss of 5%. And second fan he sells at a loss, at a profit of 10%. Here we have to find out the loss, total loss percentage, otherwise total profit percentage. If it is profit, then total profit. Otherwise, if it is loss, the total loss that is taking place there. Then for first fan, we will find the selling price. Actually, the selling price is 5% loss. So selling price will be, if considering it as 900, then selling price will be 95 out of 100. And the price of the fan is 1,200. So we will be getting rupees 1,140. And for the case of second fan, SP means selling price. Here a profit is making at 10%. So 100 will become 110 divided by 100 and 1,200. So here we are getting the answer 1,320 rupees. So the total earning, otherwise total selling price, here it is 1,140 plus 1,320. So we are getting it as rupees 2,460. What is the total cost price? Total cost price CP. He purchased 2 fan and each fan cost 1,200. So total cost is rupees 2,400. So whether he made profit or loss, that we can find by comparing selling price and cost price. Selling price is more than cost price, If selling price is more than cost price, then here in this case, it is profit. Now we have to find out what is the profit. So profit is equal to selling price minus cost price. I mean total selling price minus cost price. Total selling price is 2,460 minus 2,400. That means he is made a profit of rupees 60. 60 rupees is the profit. Then what is the profit percentage? That percentage of profit, 60 divided by total is 2,400 multiplied by 100. And this will be 30. And here it will be 12. And then 15. Then 6. Then 2. Then 5. It means profit percentage is 2.5%. Now our next topic is sales tax, value added tax, and GST. Sales tax, value added tax, and GST. GST is well known now, and this is the way that the government is finding fund to control the expenditure of government. And what does means by the difference between the discount and the GST? In the case of discount, we were minusing, and in case of GST, we have to plus. Suppose that here in this case, one is purchasing a shoe for 450 rupees. A set of shoe is purchasing 450 rupees, and let the sales tax for this is 5%. Then how much will be the bill amount? So price of this is 450. Then tax will be 450 into 5 divided by 100. So this will be rupees 22.50. Then bill amount will come. The price of the shoe plus 22.50. This means that one has to pay rupees 472.50 for the shoe. Now let us come to the next topic. Our next topic is compound interest. Otherwise, we will say CI. For this case of compound interest, let us consider the simple interest as well as the compound interest. Suppose a sum of 1,000, okay, 1,000 rupees. One borrowed from another person for 10% interest. So here the principal amount P is 1,000, and the rate of interest is 10%. And if we borrowed it for 2 years, the time is 2 years. As per the simple interest, method, the simple interest will be PNR. Here P stands for principal amount, that is 1000. N stands for the number of years, and R stands for the rate of interest. So here we will get it as 200 rupees. 200 is the simple interest. That is, after 2 years, the amount to be paid is principal amount plus the interest. It means he has to pay 1,200 against 1,000 rupees that he borrowed at the end of the 2 years. Now let us come to the difference between simple interest and compound interest. For that, I am considering here as a principal amount 100 and the rate of interest, principal amount considering here as 100 and the rate of interest considering as 10. Now consider the simple interest as well as compound interest. We are going to consider the simple interest as well as the compound interest. For first year, we will first calculate, and here the principal amount. Hereafter we'll write as P. Here first one is P1. So principal amount is 100 and interest is 10 rupees. And in compound interest method also the same will come. And at the year end amount, this will be 110, and here also it will be 110. And now let us move to the second year. In second year, the principal amount here will be 100 and 100 only will be the principal amount here. And here the principal amount will be 110. And interest here, it will be 10 only. And year end amount will be 100 plus previous year 10 plus this year 10. And here the interest will be 110 is the amount after adding the interest in previous year, and the interest will be calculating of the previous year's principal amount. Like this, it will be calculating. So here it is going to get interest as 11 rupees. It means that the year end amount here, it will be 121 rupees will be the year end here. And here it will be 120 rupees only. And now let us move to the third year. Third year, principal amount here will be 100 only. There will be no change as far as regarding the simple interest method. Principal amount will be 100 only. But here it will be 121. See the difference. In the case of simple interest, the previous interest is not holding or adding with the principal amount, but for the case of compound interest, the previous interest is also adding, thereafter finding the interest. So here the interest will be 10 only, and here it will be 121 into 10 divided by 100. It means 12.10, means 12 rupees 10 paise. So year end amount, here it will be 120 plus 10, that is 130, but here it will be 121 plus 12.10, that is here we are going to get 133.10, means 133 rupees 10 paise. Here we are getting 130 only. So this is the difference between the simple interest and the compound interest. So interest earned by compound method, compound interest method is 133.10 paise minus 130. So if one is moving to compound interest method rather than of the normal interest method, then he can earn 33 rupees 10 paise. And by simple interest method, he will be getting 130 minus 100. It means he is going to get only 30 rupees. So 3 rupees 10 paise extra he can earn by giving it in compound interest rather than of simple interest. Now this way, year by year calculation is tedious and it is time consuming also. So let us deduce a formula for compound interest. Formula for compound interest finding. Let P is equal to the principal amount, and R is the rate of interest. Then let us consider P1 is the first year. P1 is the principal amount for first year. Then as per simple interest for first year, it will be P1 R divided by 100. And the amount will be by adding the simple interest of last year, it will be P1 plus SI1. That is P1 plus P1R divided by 100. That we can write it as P1 is common there, we can take it out, then 1 plus R divided by 100. Let us say this is P2, means in next after the end of this year, when we move to the next year, we will be considering this as the P2. Then S simple interest in second year will be P2R divided by 100. And this will be equal to, we know what is P2. P2 substitute P1 into 1 plus R divided by 100 for P2. And then it will be R by 100. So here we are having P1R divided by 100 into 1 plus R by 100. Now A2 means the second year end, the total amount will be having P2 plus SI2 to 1 plus R divided by 100. Here the common factor is P1 into 1 plus R divided by 100 is common factor. The remaining in here will be 1 and here will be R divided by 100. It means P1 into 1 plus R divided by 100 square. So for 2 years, it will be P1 into 1 plus R divided by 100 whole square. So this will be the amount that will be considering for P3, and for the P3 if you are going, then A3 will be the same P1 into 1 plus R divided by 100 cube you are going to get. If we proceed in this way, then nth time AN will be P1 into 1 plus R divided by 100 nth to the power of n we are going to get. So simply we can say that compound interest final amount in by the compound interest method, final amount of P is the principal amount, then 1 plus R divided by 100 whole raised to n is the formula. Here P is the principal amount, R is the rate of interest, and n is the number of year. Now let us consider one example here. We have to find out the compound interest on rupees 12,600 for 2 years, and the interest rate is 10%. So here the total amount at the end of 2 years will be P into 1 plus R divided by 100 whole raised to n. That means here it will be P is 12,600 into 1 plus R is 10 divided by 100, n is 2. In this way, the A we are going to get 15,246 we will get. And if we want to find out the CI is 15,246, which is we have got it as total amount. When we minus this 12,600, then we will get the compound interest as 2646, means 2,646 rupees we will get as compound interest. And rather than this, the compound interest now we have said in terms of annual terms that we have said annually. It means yearly. Sometimes it may be half yearly, sometimes it may be quarterly, means 3 months like that. Now let us consider the 12,000 amount. Another example, rupees 12,000, okay, for 1.5 year at a interest rate 10%. Now we are considering, and compound interest at half yearly we have to consider. Then how many half year is there? There are half year here is 3. It means N is 3. And P here it is 12,000 and R is 10%. Then let us find the total amount that we are going to get at the end of this 1.5 year. 1 plus R by 100 raised to N, that is 12,000. 1 plus 10 divided by 100 raised to 3. So what we are getting here? We are getting here is 13,891.50 rupees we will get here. Okay. So this is the way that we can calculate the compound interest. Hope this you could understand well. If you could understand it, then I request you to like my video as well as subscribe my channel, and also please share this video with your friends, and also request you to feel free to contact us if you are having any doubts. Our WhatsApp number is given there in description, and also you can chat with us in comment box also. So thank you once again for watching the video.